Let's look at how to use Snagit and Adobe Rush to create an instructional video. Snagit is a screen capturing program. It has a lot of options. The main thing is it's going to give you granularity when you try to capture. So you can choose an image, you can choose a video, you can decide to do the whole screen, you can do a region, so it gives you a lot of options. You can also record the system audio. You might need to install a helper program, but that can be really valuable. So we're going to try capture, and we've selected region, so now we can mark out this region. But there's a problem. Look at how my web browser is kind of a square shape, and when we try to make a video with a square shape, it's going to end up having black bars on either side, so the size is not going to be good. So I'm going to do a little bit of a workaround. I'm going to resize my web browser into something that will fit better for a video. So when you make these videos, you want to pay attention to the dimensions, the kinds of materials on screen. So I'm going to do this workaround. I'm going to hide my Snagit program and I'm going to open an image. This image is a 1920 by 1080 pixel image. And I can use that to kind of resituate my web browser. This doesn't have to be perfect. The main thing is I just want the format to be something similar to what I might find if I were watching a YouTube video or in kind of a contemporary 16 by 9 format. So I'm going to reshape this, and now I'm ready to record again. You can also be thinking about things like the font size on your browser. You can use the view menus. You can do keyboard shortcuts to get things looking really good and kind of set up. So now if I grab this, it's going to be the proper size and kind of look better in a video. I want to do one other thing though before I go too far. If I were to grab this, it would be fine, but if I ended up wanting to go to the file menu or show someone something, that would be a little bit of a challenge. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually move this up a tiny little bit. So if I go to one of these menus, I'll be able to see that. And when I do my final capturing, I might tweak the bottom a little bit. And again, I'm not getting this exactly perfect. You can, if you're a perfectionist, spend as much time as you want. But in general, I've got a setup now where I'm going to be able to get a great image that is in the right format and even be able to see my menus. I'm going to click this region, and then I'm just going to tweak this upper marker here so that now I'm recording exactly what I want to record. And then I'm just going to hit the plus or the record button. It's going to do a little countdown for me, and I'm ready to walk through this instruction. I'm going to show someone how to make a spreadsheet. So I've sped this up quite a bit. You don't need to bog down here while I'm doing this spreadsheet instruction. Later on, we'll show how this can be brought into Adobe and fine-tuned with some of this speeding up moves as well. In any case, you can see here I'm capturing just this spreadsheet. Whenever I'm ready to stop, I'll hit the stop button on Snagit, which is in this little toolbar at the bottom, and it's going to pull this into my Snagit program. You can see now I have a video. I can do a little quick pre-editing, so some of that stuff in the middle when I was just kind of bogging down and my spreadsheet was churning away, if I wanted to clean that up, I can use these little grab handles, mark a selection, and cut it. So I can do some initial trimming in Snagit, which can be valuable. And sometimes if you're doing just a quick video, you can shoot it in Snagit, trim it, save it, and be done and not have to do anything else. When I'm ready, I'm going to go to the Share menu and choose File. And then this is probably going to churn for a minute. I'll speed this up as well. And we're going to export this file as an MP4 to my desktop. So now that we've got an MP4 file that we made, let's look at how to edit it a little bit using Adobe Rush. We're going to use the Creative Cloud software, and you want to use your UNC version of that. You would log in with your Onion, make sure you've got that all set up. And what we'll do is open Adobe Rush. So Adobe Rush is easy to use. You'll notice there's a Learn option down here, which will take you to a website, and on that website you're going to find a lot of tutorials. I would encourage you to poke around a little bit. When you first open the program, it comes with kind of a preloaded tutorial, but it's based off of a very simple drag and drop paradigm. We're going to do create a new project, and the first step when you create a new project is to import media. So I'm going to choose this MP4 file that I made and click create, and Adobe Rush is going to pull in that media. If you're making a lot of high-end videos or just more complex videos, you might pull in 5 or 6 or some number of media clips. But here I have my MP4 that I recorded, and you can see now I'm able to edit it. It has all the different steps when I was talking someone through how to make one of these spreadsheets. So for the most part, you're just going to be doing work on your timeline, maybe cutting pieces up, chopping them. I'm going to move my playhead to a place where some kind of dead air in the video begins. I'm going to use this scissor tool, and it's going to cut this thing. And then I'm going to move my playhead up a little bit, and this is a part where the website was just kind of churning away, doing a process, and I'm going to do another split. I'll use my scissor tool, and now I have this piece marked out, a little extra chunk. We're going to look at some of the tools on the right hand side, which are property oriented tools that let you manipulate things, and I'm going to use this speed adjustment clip here. And then you can see this is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to use this slider and drag this along here, and this will speed this up. So when you're editing these videos, there may be parts that you just want to chop out, but there may be parts where you want to see the procedures on screen, but it's just taking too long, so you can speed them up. The other thing that you can do is slow clips down. I'm not going to show this here, but that can be really valuable if you feel like you need to speak for 30 seconds to really explain a concept, but you only filmed 12 seconds of screen time. Then you can just slow down the duration of the clip, and your everything is going to line up. Now I'm going to add some voice. I've got the timing right, and now I just need to talk. So I'm going to turn on this voice recorder, and then I can add my narration. In this video, we will look at how to scrape tweets using a spreadsheet called tags. First, we'll make a copy of the spreadsheet. So that's the basic process. I'm editing, kind of tightening things up, changing the speed. The materials are on screen, and then I'm going to talk over the materials to guide viewers toward the points I want to make, or to help them with the processes. You don't have to script this too heavily, especially if you're on the fly trying to make some materials for class next week. You'll get the hang of kind of talking over some of these materials as they play out on screen. And just kind of go back and forth. Sometimes you do have to stop and speed something up, slow it down, do a little bit of trimming, and then re-record your voice, but you'll get a feel for it pretty quickly. So let's finish this up. One thing you might want to do is add a title. So there's a whole bunch of different titles you can get from the right over here, and I'm going to choose one, and I'm going to drag it into my timeline. You can see how there's multiple timelines or multiple channels. If you put it on top of the clip, it will be overlaid. We're going to go ahead and grab it and just move it into the front of the clip so it has an opening sequence here with this title. And then once I've got that set up, I can change what I want it to read, and then I'm kind of giving a little bit of polish or finish to this piece. In this video, we will look at how to scrape tweets using a spreadsheet called tags. So let's look at one more thing that might be useful. In my recording, I do work in this spreadsheet a little bit. So I'm going to go to the spot where I'm working in this spreadsheet. I'm going to cut this, and then you can see the placement of this clip on the canvas. I can just grab the edge of it here and zoom it up so that I am creating a kind of zoom in effect. If I want students to be able to see exactly what's going on with some text, or kind of get into some detail work, this is kind of a workaround. And then I'm going to cut this thing back into another chunk and try to put it back to the same size. In order to do that, I'm actually going to use this properties menu. There's a crop icon here, which essentially will take you to all of the properties associated with this clip. And I can just find the scale piece here, and I'll change my scale back to 100% or normal size. And then I've kind of created a piece that goes back to normal here. So I've zoomed in, and now I've zoomed back out. And that's more or less about everything that you might want to do in terms of editing, cutting things up, changing their clip speed, changing their scale on screen, zooming back out. You should be able to pretty much deliver any kind of information that you need in this video format. So I can keep editing. I'll add some more voice and kind of fix this up. And when we're ready, we're going to now export this, and we'll have our finished product. So When you're feeling good, you go to the share menu. You're going to give this a title and then locate somewhere where you want to save this thing. I'll just put it on my desktop. And then you have your completed MP4 file. There's some more steps that we're going to end up taking at some point to add captions and kind of get it readily available for people to view. But essentially we're finished now. We've created a video, we've ripped it in Snagit, we've edited it in Adobe Rush, and we're ready to move on to the next stage.